Oh, wait. Damn it. Hello, everyone. Pay no attention to... There we go. Okay,
Shut up, sheep fucker.
it was just one move I had to quickly make. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beserkr. I almost said Vikinger.
We were very much in the wrong place.
only two of you were in the wrong place,
Yeah.
and I think the cameras are pretty much good, so it's all fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Technically, Sven Goober had actually called Rod go fucker, not me, because I was in his place. So I got away with it. Yeah, because our cameras were switched.
I was like, I don't remember this, but I've said these things, so fuck it, right? Whatever.
Also, I want to say that before I go into my spiel on... I don't have an intro today. It's still being worked on, apparently.
Can be finished by the time we finish.
Yeah, hopefully, yes. I haven't had to send it back for a rewrite. It just hasn't come back to me yet, so... But yes, essentially, before I get into my spiel on the channel, I just want to say... We've already had 2 super chats, which is awesome. However, both of them are referencing King Arthur mythology, and this is Vikings. Like, I don't know why people are like, King Arthur, you're right. But yeah, it's very appreciated, guys. We will at the end of the show we will address it in more detail as to
Well,
what...
to be fair, one of them is referencing King Arthur, and one of them is referencing King Arthur via Monty Python. So
Yes.
what can you do?
I don't believe Monty Python did a Viking,
They probably did sketches with it.
I
imagine
I
Flying
can't
Circus
remember...
must have a Viking sketch somewhere.
I would assume so, but I just can't think of any Viking sketches.
Aren't there Vikings sitting in the calf when they're doing the spam, egg, spam, and bacon and spam?
Maybe?
I think so. Tangent, I'll check. You play.
Yes. Hello and welcome everyone to The Wandering Inn. We have episode 4 of Beserkr. Everything is fine. Nothing has been revealed. There's nothing to worry about.
This is a nice vacation on the coast of England. That's all. We're sitting on the beach. We're enjoying the waves, having nice, like, fruity cocktails. It's just.
Yeah.
Nice
I'm coming
good times.
down to the pool every morning to find German towels on all of the chairs.
And it's been so fun, no one wants to go back.
Yeah, exactly.
The transport was kind of burned, but that's fine. So yes, if you enjoy The Wandering Inn, then there are places you can go, young man.
Don't say young man. Say young individuals.
Well, no, it's young man because it's YMCA. Like there's a place you can go, young man. Yeah.
I love that, but I also love the idea that you just start the episode talking to one specific person and you name their first name but don't name their last name. So it's just like, there is a place you can go to support us. Heath.
Jerry.
Yeah,
God damn it, Bob!
There's just one dude out here be like, what the fuck?
Oh yes, by the way, the spam thing, it was Vikings. It was the horny-headed people sitting on the other table.
Which we now know was not Vikings, but it's...
Yeah, but it's Monty Python Vikings.
They did what they could.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially, there is a place you can go, and even if you're not a young man called Keith, there's the website wanderingin.net, which is in the links below. There's a couple of things I want to do with that. I've been trying to reach out. Some people have done like art of shows in the past or like scenes of shows in the past. I want to have like a section of the website which is dedicated to art from the shows, so you can go and check out like the dragons from Dragon Rider, stuff like that. I also want to put up like call it like fan art or whatever of like sketches and stuff people have done of the shows. But I've been reaching out to people and I don't always hear back, so it's hard to like gather people.
Do you want a suggestion for what you should add to that?
What's that?
You should have Matt's summations for the episodes underneath, like if you do, because they're gold. So you should just have that here's a synopsis of this episode. Just flick through, because just saying that'd be pretty cool.
Mr. Matt's summations are, but they tend to go through the episode, so there's a lot of spoilers in them as well.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you want a summation of them, and not it's a case of I want to get in, but they're on episode 26, and I don't want to, or like I want to get in on QT season 2, but I haven't seen season 1, etc.
But yes, essentially, so that's one of the things I want to do with the website. But currently, you can go to the website, you can check out the list of shows, and you can pick one of the shows, go into the specific episode. You can do all that from the website. It's very codified. And also, like, if you want, you can just go to the playlists on YouTube, and it has the playlists of all the different shows we've done. So that is also an option. But yes, aside from that. There is the Discord and Twitter, if you would like to keep up with when we are doing shows and everything, especially seeing as, well, I'll hit that in a second, Sheepy, let's ignore that for a second. Anyway, I was talking about the Discord and Twitter, if you want to get, announced for things, keep up with everything that's going on. Then there is also the Patreon, which you can go to and pledge a little bit of money, or however much money you want, to support the show. The more people can pledge, the closer we get to doing extra shows and things like that, because I pay the cost, and I pay the cost through a patron. So all of the patron goes to cost pay and goes to producing the shows. Means I don't have to bleed money out of my naughty bits. So...
Which he means that how he pays us is sexual favors.
No, what he's saying is, you guys don't know this, but Sheepy actively runs several OnlyPants, and that's how he actually has to pay.
Yes, that is true. And anyway, I'd like a carry on of that joke popped into my head. I don't want to tell that joke. I
haven't had caffeine yet today, and all of this shit is just fucking what is happening.
Good news, encouraging news is we are getting very close to having a funded second show as well. So, yes. So I will say that regardless of that, I have been setting up and starting to record extra shows for the future, so I can release recorded shows as well in preparation for when we are funded for 2 shows, so I can start throwing out extra shows as well. So there is that anyway, but I try not to talk about it too much, because I kind of feel that's like promoting your only fads by releasing lots and lots of nude pics of yourself in free places. It's like, it's not really promoting anything if you just give it away for free. But
let me tell you, selling an OnlyFans is not easy.
However, with
even when your name is Rod.
Yes.
Even when my name's Rod. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect for the
Hello, my name's Rod. Rod Johnson. The only way it could have been proved it would be Rod Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's the only way.
I mean, if you had Scottish heritage, you could have gone with Rod Johnston McPenis, and then you'd have been like.
I do have Scottish heritage. Believe me.
Oh.
Hey, you know what?
It's a shame
if your
you're
name
not
was
a member.
Johnson and your stage name was Hugh, then you would be Hugh Johnson.
Yep.
That would work too.
Anyway, you need caffeine, Goobs.
Is this not the topic for the show today? Tangent, everybody. No Beserkr today. We're just going to talk about.
I didn't realize the role playing was about fucking describing Rod's OnlyFans.
Yeah, well,
missed that memo.
You didn't read the homework.
I guess I didn't. You're right.
Don't worry. I'll get through the intro momentarily. So basically, the patron is getting very, very close to fully funding the cost pay for 2 shows. So keep that in mind. Once we hit that, then I'll be able to do 2 shows a week, and as things go, you know, there'll be more things basically. If you want an idea of the other types of shows that have been done, we did Fallen, a 40k show that Rod is in. Sorry, not Rod. Goobers is in. Apologies. Rod.
I was in that.
Oh no, yeah, Rod was also in.
What? Okay, you said Goobers needs caffeine. You need caffeine.
You have called me peachy 3 times already today,
I
sir.
know. I have ADHD and I'm caffeine. I'm completely okay with it.
What the fuck is this intro?
I know. With
someone switched out his caffeine for cocaine.
Apparently.
With all of that said, I think I've hit. Oh yes. If you want, it's already been mentioned, but if you want, you don't want to do that monthly kind of pledge thing on Patreon, etc. You can throw down a super chat to give a little bit of support. At the end of the show, we'll read out those super chats. If you put any questions or any thoughts or anything in them, then we can address them and talk about them. Currently speaking, we have 2 instances of Arthurian legend to talk about at the end, so I guess we'll do that. But yeah, if you have any like thoughts about the episode or previous episodes, you want to ask like LZT why he suddenly looks entirely different. I think partially it's the hat, you know, it's covering the hair, and
well, that's fair. I am a little bit of you can see there's something missing that was there before.
If you want to ask us how we got such a historically accurate picture for the thumbnail, you can ask that too.
Look at that fucking haircut. Goddamn, son. Looks good.
You suave looking motherfucker.
So yeah, suave.
It's a nice trim. Questions you can drop down during the show via super chat, and then we'll answer them at the end. With that said, even though the coherency of this intro has been about as impressive as it always is, we can probably switch over to the recap to talk about what has happened. Because quite a bit happened last week, which should probably start with the church.
Yeah, and harrowing visions.
Harrowing visions.
And meat canyons.
Heralding visions.
I was gonna make that heralding joke, but I was like, you know what? I'm better than that, and I'm glad that you weren't.
See, I thought I was better than that, and then I did it, and then I realized I didn't need some workshopping before that comes out.
I feel it was appropriate that you decided you weren't better than that, like the second after Rod went with the Meat Canyon reference, which it's like that. Fuck it, Rod mentioned the Meat Canyon. We weren't gonna do that, but. So yes, we had a little bit of a investigation of the church, which, thanks to some absolutely god-awful rolls, Sven managed to uncover a trapdoor that led down into a basement, cellar type place. That's what you call failing upwards.
Well, that was the god roll. That was like I rolled 100.
Yeah.
That was where I rolled 100. But then everything after that was just fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. We found down there that there was some cells. There was some bloodstains. There was a room with bones in it, with some thistle, nettle, like weed type things, like hung up in the room. And we found a kind of larder in the cellar as well, with lots of like dried meats and cheese and bread and all of this kind of thing. A few things were recalled and kind of noticed. I believe the thistles were a ward against demonic spirit type things.
Yep.
From demons, coming in or whatever.
Yeah. generally speaking, they were hung up at the entrance to a place, but and there was a hesitance to partake in any of the food, so presumably, spoiler alert, it was burned down with the rest of the church.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah. Was it? I'm trying to remember who was it. Leaf who burned down the church. Yes.
Yep.
So Leaf decided to burn down the church as he had been creeped out for quite a while, and the church did not help. At the same time, Harold had a moment of clarity where he saw kind of pulsating walls of flesh and
he thought it was actually tripping balls.
yes, he suspected that there was something in the cellar that was kind of
the spot hidden worked really well. The comprehension of what the spot hidden revealed, not so good.
He also saw a vision, I guess, of his no, 1 second. Did my sorry, it looks like there's an issue with the stream.
Yeah, I'm buffering as well.
Why is the stream being weird?
Stop downloading porn at the same time.
Who downloads porn?
I don't know I don't know what it was, but the entire time my connection was fine and YouTube's like excellent connection. I'm like
Liar.
You liar. Oh, and it's buffering again. Cool.
Oh no.
Yeah, mine's completely stuck. Mine's completely stuck.
Yeah.
I think mine's okay right now.
It seems
Maybe
fine
I'm not
over
caught
here.
up yet.
Maybe it's just being okay. So it's fine. It's fine for some people. I guess we'll just keep going and yeah. Okay. Anyway,
At least it's just recap so far.
yeah. Because it doesn't. Because it's not working for me. I was worried it was same for everyone. I guess it's like a local thing, like wherever you are.
Weird.
So, yes, he's Harold saw his brother as this kind of like stag skull, beefy demony thing.
Fleshen.
Yes.
Oh my god, I should have called him Fleshen. Because my lesson was okay, whatever.
And Sven also saw a book with weird writing that had it was weird writing because he can't read.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
to him, all writing is weird writing.
Yeah.
And it's not just I couldn't read that; it's I can't read.
Yes.
These pictures are funny.
And the image was kind of like a, engraved or painted image of like a strange, like long-limbed, slim, thin, creepy creature with like a stag skull and
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
big antlers and things draped over the antlers and etc. And yeah, as they
fucking nightmare.
Yes,
That's what it is.
they did go back to the town that they raided and settled down there for kind of the evening. Had a discussion about what to do next, whether they should keep having a look around, see if there's anywhere else to raid, or whether they should just take what they've got and head back. In the end, although a couple of the Vikings were interested in leaving, the majority decided to keep having a look around. I guess greed won out in that instance. And they went off searching. The Vikings we have here decided to head down to the south. They found a kind of burned out settlement that appeared to have been burned out for a fair amount of time. Some skeletons lay about, some like crappy old rusted blades and etc. weapons, and couldn't see much indication of anything else. So came back. On the trip back, I think you ran into, on the way back you ran into I was gonna say Askill, but it's not Askill, is it? It's
Eskill.
Eskill.
Ran on the way back. On the way back to
you were
village?
headed back towards the village area.
And then we had a cardinal direction issue where east was wet and west was also wet.
Yes, I kept.
It's not quite as wet as the sea.
I kept saying that you guys were going to the east, which is into
that's
the.
right.
But
okay.
You were headed back north towards the village. Ran into Eskill, who let you know that he came down to join you because the group that headed out west ran into essentially bogland, just a lot of like flooded land, water, like a swamp, basically. For those of you who don't know bog,
It's a perfect description.
If you don't know bog, go to Ireland, you'll find bog.
Yes.
Or if you want to go further, go to Finland, you'll find bog. But yes, essentially the general feeling was that there wasn't really anything else around here. The bogland to the west, mountains to the north, and aside from a couple, like a burned out settlement, mostly just down the coastline to the south, it was forest and not much else. So, headed back and got to the reconvened with the rest of the Vikings, who were basically taking all of the loot and the gathered gear to back to the ships. On the way back, I believe it was Harold who heard, or that some flames, some kind of crackling, and him and his brother Eskill, who smelled smoke, rushed forward to see what was happening, and found the boats on fire. Found the kind of like dismembered body parts of the Vikings left to guard the ships, and one remaining Viking warrior who was kind of like screaming at the sky, along with the ships burning the shore, on the shore, and Eskill was essentially kind of crucified, like just hung up on a wood, with his entrails hanging out all over the place.
We have to remember that Eskill is Scandinavian, so standing there in the direct sunlight is not good for his skin. It's too pale for this.
True. That was the first instance that something was fishy.
I mean, if anything, it adds insult to injury. That's all I'm saying. It's like, at least could you like splash some suntan lotion on him or something?
Yeah, exactly.
SPF's 20. That's all I'm asking for.
But yes, which was of course weird because Eskill was right next to Harold. So with that, the Eskill that was with Harold revealed himself to be maybe a shape changer, or maybe a imposter, amongst noises, I guess.
A skinwalker or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like along those lines. Yeah.
And immediately grabbed and started choking out against a tree the Jarl Gudbrand, who lost consciousness but didn't die, as Harald and I think maybe one or two other people started stabbing.
Nope. I chopped off arms, and then I chopped right in the back and severed his spine, but he was still able to control his arms, and then the arms went.
Yes, you chopped his arms off.
Yes.
Thus
I take full credit for saving the arm.
Yes. And so the Jarl is luckily not dead.
Oh,
and
not yet. Not yet.
And we are currently in a situation whereby that is where we ended. So, oh, sorry, apologies. There was one other thing. As the camera like backed up a little bit on the scene, we could see a dark, inky blackness kind of coming around the ships in the surf in the sea around it. Also,
Yay.
one thing I realized I didn't mention is the moon dreams. All three of them in the night before they went out exploring all had a dream under a different moon. Harold had a red moon dream, Sven had a green moon dream, and Leaf had a blue moon dream. So,
Chat, what color moon dream did you have last night?
what color?
Did you have one with the Eldritch Abomination? If so, like and subscribe.
What moon dream are you? Fill out this quiz and find out.
Oh my
yeah.
god, yeah.
Oh my god.
That is how great would that be for a Patreon incentive?
Yeah.
I can hit this number and I'll make a moon dream quiz.
hit this number or I will make a moon.
Yes.
So, if we are all ready and prepared and caught up.
I think the other thing.
Oh,
Oh no, that was you and me talking afterwards, VP.
Yes.
That did not happen on the show. Never mind. I'm not gonna spoil my character development.
So, with that said, we rejoin in that chaos of you currently have a unconscious Jarl slumped against a tree, like large, completely devoid of any kind of movement or life, it looks like, kind of like hulked, muscly, kind of grey-green bodied thing with like a deer skull head, and the burning ships, screaming Viking warrior, and I'm not sure how many people notice it, but there is the inky like spreading in the sea around the ships and kind of coming up towards the shore. First off, I guess, does anyone take any like immediate action? I would say the Vikings with you, just the general Vikings, there's probably about 40 to 45 at this point. There's probably a moment of hesitation as people try and figure out, like, as they all try and figure out, like, what exactly is happening. And, you know, it's that hesitation where they look for someone to give orders, but the Jarl is down and, you know.
God, I have no idea what I do.
Yeah, it's,
I take my brother down.
well,
is the thing? Wasn't there something that like appeared and like was like?
Oh yeah,
well,
something on the beach, right?
there
Like,
is,
there was like a person or something like that, or was it Eskil, like the
yes.
other version of Eskil?
There is the, well, there is the real version of Eskil, let's say, kind of like dead and kind of crucified up on a short like like little wooden thing. I say crucified, it's not actually crucified, but it's, you know, close enough. Yep. And there is a like berserk screaming Viking warrior, like, who's just dismembered all the rest of the all the rest of the Vikings guarding the ship, and appears to be going through. I would say actually, Harold, you can, you know, pretty much see what, like, he's in the midst of battle rage, like a bloodlust, and
I know it well.
seems to be completely out of his. It seems to be completely out of his like mind, lost in that. I would say, like, if Harold is going to go for his brother, like that's definitely something you'll have to deal with first.
Yeah.
So,
While Harold does that, Leaf is going to be moving towards the yawl.
okay.
Leaf does not. Leaf is very, very angry at a yawl right now, and
Well, the Jarl's unconscious, just so you know.
that doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
Leaf is moving towards the yawl right now, and debating caving his face in.
Okay. So Harold, are you headed for actual Eskil?
Yeah.
All right.
And if someone is battle raging ahead of me and will get in my way, I will rip them apart.
Okay. In that case, there is a moment of hesitation, I would say, from the majority of the Vikings, after having like taken action and like hacked off kind of severed the spine and hacked off the hands of this fake Eskil. Harold like shoulders his axe, turns around, looks at the tableau, and like lets out a little huff of air and just starts walking down the incline towards the beach. At the same time as Leaf starts heading with purpose towards the Jarl, who's kind of like unconscious and like slumped against the tree with this like hulking, partially dismembered body in front of him. I would say I'm trying to decide if any of the Vikings kind of take immediate action. I think probably not. I'll leave it to you, Sven, as to whether you.
I'm gonna be real, Sven. I'll speak on behalf of Sven himself, but I don't think he's doing much. I think he's just kind of like he's almost kind of stunned. He doesn't know whether to go to the Jarl. He doesn't know whether to go to Harald. He doesn't know whether to go after the guy who's like freaking the fuck out. He doesn't know whether to run. Like he's just kind of like
essentially like a momentary taking in of everything and trying to process it.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of paralyzed with just like indecision and not fear, but just like he's still. Well, I guess no, he did take a nap, so he's not exhausted anymore. But
yes,
he's just bewildered. He's like, what is happening? Wait, where's the threat? You know, like because normally like if there's some sort of an issue going on, like or some danger or whatever, like you can point out like that's where the bad is, right? But here it's like, you know, has anybody well actually here's the other thing then I guess maybe he'd get to eventually is has anybody like noticeably like or like taken note of the smoke and stuff, like have they reacted to it at all that's like out there and coming towards us?
No, that's something that happened after you guys left the church, so it just kind of like seeped into the forest behind you guys, and it wasn't really noticed.
I thought it was like kind of curving around behind the ships and stuff, but this is
so like... that's the ink in the sea. So it's like it's kind of it's kind of like a black inky substance that's slowly, and seeing as it's nighttime,
okay,
you it's possible that someone may have noticed it, but there's more. I would say there's more pressing things like the fire and the crazy Viking. So yeah. I would say in that case, what happens? We'll hold on what Leaf does for a second, and once Sven decides on an action, feel free to throw that out. I think he'll probably decide reasonably soon, but it makes a lot of sense considering everything in this scene is like confusing as all hell because none of it makes much sense. It makes sense.
That is very overwhelmed.
Yeah, it makes sense that you take a moment and be like, the fuck is happening?
Pardon?
Harold, you start walking down the incline towards the beach. As you kind of get to the bottom, to the beach like part of it, you see the kind of crazed, probably just like the whites of his eyes in the darkness, as like the Viking like turns to you, like 2 axes in hand, like kind of frothing and snarling a little bit, and there's no recognition of like, oh hey, it's you. It's just another thing to attack, and he kind of pushes off the sand and like starts like just charging towards you with a fairly guttural roar and intent to attack. Just head straight. Okay. In
Murder time, no think.
In that case,
He's in the way, right?
yeah. I would say depending.
Oh, actually, you know what I would like to do?
Okay.
Throw the axe.
Coming
towards me. Fuck you. You stay there. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because if he gets closer, then I'm like seeing red now, and I still have my like gloves with the clawed knuckles and everything, so I could tear him to shreds with what I have on me.
Okay. In that case, that will be a throw. I think you have throwing.
Yes. So I haven't opened my character sheet yet. Here you. Barely failed.
Okay.
Barely failed.
So you kind of heft the axe and you kind of lob it. It goes in a.
Yeah. I do have 2 axes though.
Yes. I would say like there's no attempt to dodge. I'm not even sure there's any.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm not sure there's really any register. You know, the warrior doesn't seem to register. The axe at all, but unfortunately it does kind of like just pass, you know, to the side of him, like just over his shoulder, not quite on target. Probably the footing on the sand did, you know, etc. makes it, and the rushed nature of the charge makes it a bit more difficult to aim, etc. But and at that point he is going to.
The only reason I didn't throw both axes is I imagine I need 1 axe to get Eskil down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's sad.
Yeah. Well, he's dead, so it's not a cheerful moment exactly.
No,
So-
it's not.
Just as a question, I assume you're going to keep the other axe like with you. Like it's not. Essentially, you had 2 axes. You hold one. You still have the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to check just as he's coming in. So interesting. So
Hey.
the Beserkr charges in and just goes directly for you, like swinging wildly with the axes. If you can give me your form of kind of, you know, getting out the way or either parry, dodge, you know, block, etc.
I'd say like probably a dodge, but not dodge out of the way. Dodge in closer so that his attack is off.
Yeah.
And then I'm in close to him, and that's where I want to be.
So he goes for like a big swing, and instead of like ducking it, you actually just move in, so the swing has no kind of power.
It's like playing Counter-Strike. When someone throws a grenade, you run towards it because then you get faster instead of going out.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. So do you want to dodge?
Yes.
Ooh, hard success.
Damn. All right. Given the hard success nature, what I'll say is you not only like use his momentum and step in, basically meaning that his swing he was planning on, like as wild and crazy as it was, it holds no kind of like it holds no strength to it because the angle is wrong and etc. So it allows you, if you want, to essentially make a move yourself in that in that like canceling out of his move. So if you want to like grab his arms or do some type of grapply type stuff, or just go for a hit.
I mean, he's swinging in against me and I'm in close, so it's perfect for me to just grab him and throw him because he's already heading in that direction. Let's just keep him going.
Yes.
And there's plenty of friends behind me who can fucking take care of him once he's on the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
In that case, melee.
But is it possible to punch him and then throw him, or is it one or the other?
Oh no, I'd say 100%. Like yeah.
Yeah, because when I step in and I know he misses, I would love to just right in the solar plexus and get a fist in there. And this is a fist with like claws on the knuckles, so just punch him out real good.
Solar plexus punch.
Yeah. Success on the melee.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
I would say, given the situation, like as you duck in and like kind of come face to face with this like frothing madman berserker Viking warrior, like you cancel out the swing and possibly even like grab his arm as well, and then like immediately deliver kind of like a punch like right up under the ribs, which kind of staggers him, and then I think probably would you like to headbutt? Like it makes so much sense to headbutt him before you throw him.
Definitely, I can do that.
Would you like to headbutt him?
But I feel like that's more of a brawl than a melee. But yeah,
I would say like it makes sense in the situation, like being face to face like this, where it's just kind of like grab arm, like solar plexus punch, like right under the ribs, and then just kind of like a almost like a disorientating nut, let's call it.
Yeah.
And
or punch in the stomach and he folds over and then uppercut.
Yeah. And then you essentially like grab and like fling him over and behind you.
Yeah.
And he like falls kind of like that.
Yeah. If at all possible, while I'm throwing him, I'd like to relieve him of his weapon.
Yeah, you can do that. He does have two. I'd say.
Yeah, but one then.
Yeah, I'd say given the situation, they'd probably splay out across the sand.
Yeah.
So even if you don't dispossess him directly, they would he'd have to root around to get them first.
Yeah. When I like throw him down, I point at him and yell at like the people behind me, "Hold him!"
That kind of snaps Sven out of it. And there's somebody who has said do a thing, and he's like looking for that, and he goes and he just immediately like runs over and just like puts a foot on him, and then just puts his hands on him, just holds him down.
I'd stay still if I were you.
Could you I think anything I would say anything in terms of like persuasion or etc. Just a roll to see one thing, like persuasion, intimidate, even. Yes.
I am not good at persuade. I'll tell you right now.
That's fair. I don't see like a command.
I haven't changed this when we started though, but I'm gonna put mine at 25 because
that makes sense.
He is like a sergeant essentially. So
yeah. I would say you could.
Hey, hard success.
Holy fuck.
Never mind.
You. God damn, the demon rolls here.
Yeah. It's just...
You know why? Because I know people who work at Roll20. That's why.
There you go.
I got that magic. I got the magic sprinkle on my dice.
You want your rolls to be better? Nepotism. Shit works, man.
I got the magic sprinkle on my dice.
Hard coded for success.
Yeah.
So the instant that you down him on the ground, you kind of like snap your head up towards the assembled Vikings who are in that moment still of trying to figure out what's going on. You notice that your action and your shout has kind of shook them out of their initial like I'd call it like a stupor. You know, it's one of those situations where it's like, I've got no idea what's going on. I'm trying to take it all.
Basically, I see Harald as a little bit of a Arlie Army drill sergeant guy. Yeah. Not quite so vocal though.
But as you smash this Viking warrior to the ground and kind of shout up, you see specifically Sven and his group, I think, kind of more immediately just shake out of it, and Aki being the one, you know, like with a bit of range to them, this could go badly.
Don't shoot me. I'm standing next to the guy. You want to shoot the guy on the ground.
Are you in front of him?
Hey,
because if you're in front of him,
2 magnitude success.
So, good news. Aki has finally remembered how to use a bow and arrow.
Oh, it was back to front. Oh, I had the string facing away from me.
Yeah, turns out
sharp point doesn't point at me.
Turns out last night Aki realized that he never strung the bow, and he's actually just been throwing the arrows by hand.
Damn, dude threw an arrow so hard it embedded into my shoulder. That's impressive.
Been trying to string a quarterstaff this entire fucking time.
But the arrow flies from his bow and just sticks into the side. Like, there's kind of like a dull thud, and the kind of like rambling screaming turns into this kind of like bloody, bubbly gurgle.
Aki just plain up killed him.
So he's not dead.
Yet.
He's
not dead. He's dying. There's a difference.
Yes. What essentially, like, a shot like that, like going into the neck, will end in death. But you know as well, you've seen like warriors gone berserk who will take pretty hefty injuries and keep going for a bit. So I would say, like, you haven't let your guard down just because he's got an arrow in his neck.
The upper two parts of the brain are gone.
Yeah.
and it's the lizard brain going, ooh, kill stuff.
So let's just have a look-see on this. Yeah, no. There's like a gurgle, and the warrior kind of like puts his hand into the sand and starts to push himself up a little bit wobbly, and kind of maybe gets to his knees possibly. I'd say by that point, and I kind of enjoy this, so I'd say by that point another arrow, like less Aki actually succeeding for once, another arrow like flies out of the crowd and like hits him in the chest. And by that point, Sven, I'm assuming you still wanted to take action.
Yeah,
so by that point Sven comes in and just there's like a swing of the axe and just the head goes and
it's like and he's just like he's like breathing heavy, and he's still in kind of like a stunned state, but he looks up at Harald and just, what is happening?
Harald doesn't say anything. He's walking towards Eskil.
Yeah, I imagine immediately as that arrow comes in, it's like, okay, that's sorted, I can leave it to them. Turns around, goes to Eskil. I imagine there's a slight hush that falls aside from like the crackling of the ships. And I'll say right now, like, the ships are full on burning. Like, even if you had a already organized, like a, you know,
fire crew
or whatever, like you'd essentially be putting out the skeleton of ships.
Oh God.
It's doable to it could be doable to repair them if you got the fire out like immediately, but you'd have to spend a lot of time to, like, it's pretty burned out and already. So in that moment, let's revisit Leaf, just so we know. Leaf, what's the action here?
Leaf walks over and just thrusts his foot into the side of the y'all's face. Like I know he's like kind of out, and just thrusts it, and then picks it up and just grabs him by his shirt, and he just, wake up, you son of a bitch, wake up! And he just starts shaking him violently and like slapping him, and just like it's just pure rage because all the fear, all the stuff that he just fought for this motherfucker to leave because he knew this shit wasn't good. And this motherfucker told him it was his superstitions and all this shit. And now we're stuck here with when our other Vikings are dead. And like, oh, it is. And it is just, it can be slap him and he's going to like just fucking, I'm assuming like his nose busts when he kicks him across the face.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just grabbing him and shaking him and just screaming at him. And just like, you just see like spit like flying out of his mouth because it's just rage. And it's like none of this other shit is registered because he doesn't care at this point. This motherfucker has screwed all of us because he's so fucking greedy. And he's just like shaking him and just slamming him against the tree like repeatedly and just going,
Jesus
wake
Christ.
up! You cursed us all! You cursed us all! And it's just slamming him repeatedly over and over again into the back of the tree.
Okay.
There's like nobody there to stop this.
Yeah,
well,
Leaf is just murdering the fucking Jarl. And everybody's freaking out about other things right now. Holy shit.
Could you roll me your strength, please?
Yes.
I saved him. Don't you fucking kill him.
Oh,
God.
he might.
Damn it.
He might.
No, that's a strength. His skill with strength. That means he's good at controlling his strength, not ripping him to pieces. I hope that's what it means.
I hope.
So, when you ask for a roll as a GM, the context of what the role is important. If you are skillfully trying to like fight, then strength can be part of that skill. If you're mercilessly beating someone against a tree, when you ask for a strength roll, you're trying to figure out how strongly they're doing something.
Oh no.
So I would say that when the mist clears from your eyes, the remains of the Jarl
Oh shit!
is
Bastard.
mostly a bloody pulp of like remnant of face and head.
No! Oh, that's so bad. Oh my god, shit has gone from bad to worse. Oh god.
Can you roll me your occult, please?
Yes. Oh, there goes a fail.
What is
and a...
happening? Oh my god, these rolls are in tune with the fucking nightmare that's happening right now. Christ on a cracker.
I may need a moment to figure out.
Shit. We're gonna
Exactly
need
how.
a moment to change our pants.
Just like bring the please hold intermission like da, 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 da,
Fucking
da,
Monty
da.
Python like intermission.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say in the meantime, fucking Leaf just drops the body and just
Yeah.
stands there and just like completely like it is just like he disconnects from like he's just staring into like he's staring where the y'all was and just like because it's that mix of rage and hopelessness and the just like I'm very much like Bill Paxton in like Aliens like game like just like
Game over, man.
game
Except
over,
less hopeless. I
man.
feel like you're changing that to like anger, and then that would track.
Okay. Leaf, as you're kind of like, I'll say like you get up and like let the lifeless body of the Jarl just like drop with a wet splat. and then you stand up and you're kind of like you look over like vacantly at the ships and at the water, and you see this kind of like almost like a blue flame like just settled over the water around the ships. And it almost looks like
my dream.
A little bit, yeah. And you see the first beginnings of helmets like slowly like pushing out of the water.
What?
And like these kind of completely vacant black eyes around these like desiccated faces as like they like slowly push out of the water and start moving towards the beach.
So
this is what happens when you get 6 failures in one.
What the fuck?
Leaf is all covered in blood and is going to take out his axes, just both of his axes, and just start walking towards the water. He's got his 2 little throwing axes. They're not big like LZT axes, but they're like little throwing axes, and he's going to start walking towards these things because at this point he's just like, fuck it. I mean, obviously he's like, fuck it, but this is, I mean, yeah, this is just like, he's like, oh, okay, this incompetent, greedy bastard got us all killed. So going out fighting, that's what we came here to do, was to fight, right? To fight and pillage and all this stuff. But fuck this, and he just grabs his axes and walks towards the fucking water.
Yeah.
That might have been the best. That might have been the best response to what he just said. Was, yeah. Yeah.
So to give you an idea of what you see as this proceeds, because the essentials of what we have here coming out of the water, it won't quite happen like yet, because we do need to revisit, this is kind of like a side-by-side timeline here a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
You have, I would say in general, you can see that the what armor and stuff is visible is a mixture of like English and Viking like helmets and leathers and even like chain like shirts and chain mail. The weapons are axes and swords and even spears and shields. All of them look very old, very ancient. They are also like rusted, and like all of these beings have like bits of seaweed dripped off them, and they're like soaking like dripping wet and etc. They are also, they're not skeletons. They look like halfway in between a regular person and like a desiccated mummy.
I'm thinking of like the bad guys from the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, they're kind of like, but just a little more like decayed.
Yes, kind of. similar to that. Probably a bit more decayed. Well, not necessarily decayed. Like they're quite desiccated.
Okay.
Like halfway between kind of alive and a regular person and just like a mummy. And essentially like no real eyes or anything. It's mostly just a black eye sockets. So we'll just so you know what is happening once we get going here. Harold, what are you doing with Eskil? Essentially, this is something that's happening momentarily, and no one has noticed yet. So,
I'm getting him down.
Okay. Like takes but a second to basically get him off the this thing, and I imagine it's just like a little bit of rope. He was most likely dead by the time he was up there.
I if it's easy to reach the rope to cut him down, I will do that. Otherwise, the whole thing is coming down.
Yeah, it's easy enough to reach. It's like not massively high or anything.
Yeah. Then I cut him down.
Okay. Cut him down. He's big lad. So obviously, drop him to the ground, I assume, as opposed to... you could probably carry him, to be fair. You're a fairly big lad yourself.
Yeah, but I wouldn't see a point of moving him anywhere right now. Yeah. I just don't want him on fucking display.
Okay. Sven.
Yes.
You have just decapitated the crazed. You probably didn't know him at all. I imagine Harald and Leaf knew him to some degree. And again, I would say for both of you, like, obviously there are times where bloodlust like catches everyone. He wasn't specifically like some insane crazy person who would just lose his mind like that. So
right.
I would say this is the moment or moments before Leaf sees the thing. So currently,
God. I mean, well, would I see the body start to fucking the dudes start to walk out, or I don't? Oh, okay, it's only him.
This is something that is just about to happen.
Oh, okay.
So at the moment, it's just the inkiness in the sea. There's no real like bodies or faces or anything yet.
I mean, in a move of desperation and like a lack of understanding, like kind of what to do, because Harald told him to do one thing, he did that immediately. He's really good at taking the orders and stuff from the people that pay him, but he's not really. He doesn't know what to do here, so he's just like, and then he looks at the at his men, and he goes, the boats, water to the boats. And he just kind of just does that in just like a desperation, and he grabs whatever he can around him and starts trying to put out the fires. Like obviously it's kind of futile, but it's again, it's not really. This is not a decision made out of like,
you haven't weighed the decision yet.
no, God, no.
It makes a lot of sense to go from that to immediately like put out the fire, please, so we can salvage something here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. In that case, I'll say, Leaf, like, what action do you take once you see this? The kind of, because it's almost like a think like Predator or Rambo, like slowly raising up out of the water.
Oh, there's like, it's like rage. So he doesn't even say anything. Like I said, he just takes his axes out, his two throwing axes, and puts one. He has one in each hand and starts walking towards them.
Okay.
And it's not like a walk. It's like it's that like Terminator kind of walk. Like the just like intention of going there and just with that 1,000-yard glare, just walking towards the fucking ocean and just like
the dead inside stare.
The like we're doomed and this is so it's just like staring at it with just like the like not even an angry face, just like a blank face, just like walking towards the ocean.
Okay. Would you be happy for me to go off your previous occult roll, or would you like me to ask you to roll?
Oh no, go. I mean, go ahead.
Okay. In that case, as you like heft your axes and start to walk down the incline towards the beach and towards these things like just starting to surface out of the water, I would say that's probably the moment where a kind of like little film starts, because the moon is out, And while the fire is blazing and it is providing light, the moon is also providing light. And all of you notice that a hue has hit the moonlight, and it's this kind of like fairly mellow but very noticeable like blue tint to the moonlight is now like drifting down on you.
Thanks, I hate it.
Okay. And it
noted. Moving on.
It's at this moment that I would say the majority of the Vikings and you yourselves down on the beach, not including Leaf, who's already noticed them, notice these things start to like rise out of the water and start walking towards you onto the beach. I would say starting off, there's probably like 20, 30 or so. Just like slowly kind of... And just as a note, they are slowly kind of like dripping out of the water. And I would say again, like they're not aimless. They are kind of like moving with purpose towards you.
As soon as Sven sees this, he's just gonna turn around really quick and just go, Aki! And then point forward at those things.
Yeah.
Trying to get him to do something about them.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't hit me in the fucking back.
Aki, shoot, but let me get out of the way first.
Not me.
Oh.
Oh, you're team killing now, bruh.
I rolled twice. The first one was 100.
No!
Oh, he shoots Sven again, doesn't he?
Of all the numbers you could have rolled, you rolled. There isn't a higher number on there.
There is not a higher.
No!
That's definitely a shot in Sven's back.
Aki.
No, not again!
Aki, you burned so brightly for such a short time, and then you were straight back to...
God damn it! I'm not a pincushion for your fucking missed shots, Aki.
So what's gonna happen is, Sven, you see these things and immediately like spin. You see Aki like partway down the incline, kind of at the foot of the beach, and you're like,
okay,
Aki, and like point and like look back towards them, expecting to see like arrows start to fly over, start to like embed in them. All you hear, along with the crackle of the ships and the like soft kind of noise of the water being disturbed by these creatures, is a very heavy wooden snap.
His bow breaks.
Oh no!
And you look back to Aki like fully drawn back, and the bow has just like snapped.
Fuck.
And he just like he just kind of like, there's a moment where he just drops the bow and the arrow that was in his hand, and like he looks up to you, and there's just this like wordless kind of like moment of telepathy. Where you both are like, it's probably for the best. And then he just like reaches to his waistband and like pulls out his axe and just starts moving towards you.
Okay, with 100 though, I think that like that bow has to snap, and it has to like half of it has to like hit him in the face, because that's as bad as it knocks him over.
I mean, I like, let's be honest, if it's a bow that's used for any kind of battle, like it did hit him.
Yeah.
He probably was like, oh, but then he just stayed there like, you know what? Okay, that's fair.
Like if he'd have got like a 90 or something, I'd let him keep the bow, and it, you know, the arrow could have like hit you in the leg, or like a Jim Carrey, you know, like it would have been funny if we just kept going with the bow and he just kept hitting you with arrows in like non-lethal spots, and you just end up looking like a pincushion.
God.
But no, with 100, like, yeah, he just breaks that thing, it's gone, and
probably for the best. Probably for the best.
Very much is.
So Harold, I would say at this point, you like the Vikings have started moving along the like commands of Harold, and of Sven. They were moving forward to like help, like throw sand on the boats, like maybe get something going with the water. With these things which have now like completely left the water and aren't super far away from you. I'd say there's a moment where, as they're charging forward to deal with the ships, they see these things like appear out of the water and slowly are shuffling towards them. There's like a moment where everyone stops, and I'd say the snap of the bow is actually the moment where everyone kind of snaps out of this what the fuck and then acts. So all of you can kind of act at the same time. I'll say that given the situation and given the call to action you've already given them, the Viking warriors with you are going to basically leap in and start just hacking away. What about you?
I mean, I essentially, yeah. I mean, is this thing like? Are these things like? These things are like up and in our faces now at this point.
Like a few meters away, basically.
Has anybody hit them yet?
I will say, like, you will be able to act at about the same time as everyone else. So if you wanted to wait, you can, but you could very easily jump in with everyone else and have the first swings.
No, I'm 100% just like, I see Aki's bow. We have that moment of like, and then it's just, fuck it, run! He just like grabs his axes and just runs right at him.
Yeah. Okay. Harold, I'm guessing Leaf is just going in for a fight because that was his original intention anyway. Harold, I'm assuming same?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case...
Harold is now fully, like, got in for the... He's not, like, Harald the Viking anymore. He's back to where he was 15 years ago. Yeah. And he is Harald Half-Wolf once again.
Okay.
And that's what is tearing into these things. It's not a man. It's bipedal. That's the closest you get, but it's a wolf on two legs.
Yeah. Could you roll me your occult, please?
It's not gonna be good.
That's fine.
Yeah, figure.
Oh. Along with that, for everyone else, could you all...
I'm gonna change that actually, because I should not have 45. That should be way lower.
Oh, okay. I will make a note that it's a little bit low.
Say 25.
25, okay. Could I please have from everyone your, like, the way you're fighting? So, like, melee, ranged, throw, even, like, block and dodge and parry, like, whatever your style of fighting is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm melee with the a lot of dodging and moving around. I mean, as best you can. I don't know. I mean, how far into the water are we? Are they out of the water?
We're on the beach, right?
Yeah, you're on the beach, and they're kind of like shuffling out. The front runners are just stepped out of the water completely, basically. The others behind are like ankle deep, knee deep, maybe.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just dodging and weaving and getting, you know, two of my hand axes. Yeah. They're just going at it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
So I mean, I think Leaf's gonna be usually would throw axes, but he's angry, and so he's is melee him with him, I guess.
Yeah, melee works.
Harald is full Ulfhedmar mode, so it's dodge and melee. This is what he does.
Yeah.
This is what he's good at.
Okay. Give me them rolls.
Oh.
I should just do melee though. Yeah, I do melee.
So do you want one attack roll and one defense roll? Oh, nice.
Okay.
Fucking hell. 30 levels of success.
You don't. I would say, currently speaking, you don't really need to roll your defense.
Okay.
I
I shit the bed with a failure, but it's not quite a fumble. It's close.
It's very close. What I would say is, given the situation for right now, like your failure basically means that you find difficulty with like you take an opponent, you attack an opponent, it takes a while. The reason it takes a while is like, so Sven, we'll get to you. Harald, you charge forward and like embed your axe like right in the side of this thing, and that's all that happens. Like you pull the axe back out, and it kind of makes like a vague kind of like half-hearted like swing with the sword. You kind of like skip backwards, and it just like reasonably slowly just kind of like and there's like a shing of
I think I leave the axe in. The axe at this stage of Harald's fighting, the axes are tools.
Yeah.
And wolves don't use tools.
Okay.
Wolves use claws and teeth. So that's what he's doing.
Okay. In that case, you like leave the axe like embedded in.
Yeah.
And, like
which is why I think from now on I'll be rolling brawl, because that's more of what it is than actual like calculated melee combat. It's like, haha, riposte. I'm like, no.
Yeah. So you kind of like dodge back, leaving the axe embedded. It seems to make no real effect aside from maybe adding a little extra weight to the thing.
Yeah. No blood or anything?
No. As it like swings down kind of mindlessly towards you, and like the strings past you.
But they're human looking, right?
Yeah. I mean, like they're human.
Kinda, sorta.
they're human shaped.
Yeah.
But they look like desiccated corpses.
Yeah.
They don't have eyes. You know, they're very clearly unnatural.
Yeah.
Do
they look like someone who's been left in the water for a long time?
Not really, no.
Okay. Harald is familiar with Draugr. Do they look like that?
You could maybe like make a connection there. I wouldn't say they necessarily look like Draugr though. Like Draugr kind of more like bigger and right? The
Draugr are just like undead, but basically mummies, Norse mummies, kind of.
Yeah, I'd say there's
Draugr in Skyrim are pretty well representative of what they should look like.
Oh, okay.
So they're human sized. They're just dead. They should not be walking around.
I would say, kind of, yeah. I would say they don't look quite so skeletal.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, a similar kind of vibe to the Draugr in Skyrim. So,
would we see them and go, that looks like the Draugr, but like, it's enough to go like, there's something different though. Like,
yeah, I'd say it's not what you'd expect, but based on the stories and based on the legends, it's enough to make a connection where you could be like, Draugr.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not like we see them and go, that I have never seen anything close to that before. It's like, it's weird, but it's probably a Draugr. I don't care. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to re-dead the undead.
Yes. And
renew my subscription to Dead, please.
God damn it, Rod! Now he has to move the camera because you're in the wrong place.
It's fine. He didn't move in mine. So.
He didn't. Oh, it moved for me.
All good.
All right, good.
And yeah, essentially a similar thing happens for you, Leaf, where like you swing in. Are you using axes or swords? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm throwing axes. Yeah.
Throwing it. You're right. So most likely you kind of like your failure isn't as bad. So I'd say you like kind of smack the axe like directly into the chest of this thing, and then like pull it out. And what happens is there's like a little axe indentation in the chest, and it just keeps moving.
Yeah.
And then
it's like what is happening? What it like? Okay, you kind of like shook. Like everything else is just like up there of like another thing to go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And then it kind of kind of like has this like spear and shield, like really rusted and old, and like kind of thrusts towards you slowly, and you just kind of like jump out the way and like swing down and just like chop it off at the elbow. Like the spear and the arm like fall to the ground, and it just kind of like carries on towards you. You bring the axe down, and it buries directly in the top of its head, and it like stops for a second, kind of swaying with you like holding the axe there. You like pull the axe out, and it just keeps moving forward, and like the shield arm is like grabbing for you. So for both of you, and for you as well, Harold, like you move in and you kind of like bash it with your fists, and like it takes damage. You can feel like bones breaking even.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't adjust what it's doing. There's no indication of pain. There's no indication even of like acknowledgement of being struck. And it essentially like it doesn't adjust anything.
I don't think Harald notices that they don't notice him hitting it. There's no calculating thing going on in his head right now. It's just kill. Basically, he's a xenomorph at the moment. It's just
in comparison, so I'm going to add a small amount of context into this before I give over the scene to you, Sven.
Oh shit. Okay.
Essentially, you jump into the shallow waters, like it's, barely on your feet, like barely up to your ankles, surrounded by these beings, which you think probably are Draugr, and you just start decimating them. Chopping off limbs, chopping off heads, etc., etc. I'll let you go into the details momentarily. The only additional add is like even when you cut off a head, like it still has movement. It still has some form of locomotion. However, because you rolled so well, essentially like to a degree, once you chop them down to their bare essentials, they don't put themselves back together. They don't regenerate. They just keep animated. So, decapitating doesn't kill them. Smashing their head in doesn't kill them. Whatever's animating them keeps them going. But they're no longer a threat once you've,
essentially, like they're still technically functioning, but like if they don't have the fucking pieces to do anything with it, doesn't matter if they're functioning.
Yes. And so we will start where you essentially like splash into the water in the midst of like say 4 or 5 of them who are like slowly moving in towards you. The scene is yours. You rolled 2 extreme success, basically almost a super crit. So please describe to us how you tear apart the ones around you, and even more if you like, especially because Sheepy needs to visit the toilet, so he'll be right.
God damn it, you and your fucking Brazil nut bladder.
I know.
I'm gonna buy you a cork, a very tiny cork.
All right, so yeah, Sven jumps in and it's just like, God, fucking everything sucks. Just jumps in.
This is awful.
Just fucking hacks away, and he hits the one guy just kind of like just right here, just and buries the axe. And this thing, showing no emotion, no response, no anything to getting just literally hacked in the neck, with a very clean hit. He just kind of hits the other one, and it kind of goes here, and they kind of pinch, and then they eventually kind of just like. It still doesn't react to a second one being in there, and he just kind of goes, and he just pushes through, and he slices the head off by like pushing the axes together, and then up like this. The head rolls, and then the thing still goes. It goes, oh, for fuck's sake, and then he goes and he kicks the knee of the first one, and he kicks it backwards, just breaks it backwards, and then at that point, he just kind of pauses. There's a bit of a moment where this thing kind of falls backwards. You know, it may still be moving, but it's still falling backwards. Its leg was broken the opposite way, and Sven just he goes for, let's see here. Yeah, he goes for the hands. And he kind of looks down, and as this thing is wobbling like this, his hands kind of go up like this, you know, and then he just takes one axe followed by two axe and cuts off the hands of these things. So they're still moving, they're still walking, but they're harmless. They're literally just it's got a head and it's got stumps for hands, you know. And so he just does that, and then we'll just like kick it over, you know, and then he'll go up to the next one, and he'll kind of spin around, and he's not going to worry about the head, but he's just going to worry about making sure the hands are cut off on everything. And he just hands cut off. And as he's going through and kind of like zigzagging between every single one, and they're kind of like, you know, moving their way through, he goes through about 5 or 6. And by that time, the rest of his mercenary group has come up behind him and is going to the ones that he has already visited and cutting them down from there, removing their legs as best they can. I mean, it's cutting through a femur bone isn't really the easiest thing in the world, but you know, they're at least like cutting through the muscle and making it so if it's on the ground, it's just kind of like flopping and moving around. So he's doing the majority of the work to try to get the hands removed, so that they're not as much of a threat, and then the rest of the mercenaries come in behind that. And he's literally just like hand, like a windmill of fucking axe blades going in there. Because these things are really slow and easy to predict as they're moving their hands around or their bodies around. And he's just going through and through until after the very end of going through all of these, he ends up maybe getting a moment here. And after going through, let's say 8 or 9 of them,
10, 15 even,
yeah, he goes through and he makes sure to grab one of their hands that he's chopped off, and he has like a metal kind of like it would go like, it would be to where he'd like tie bags or something like that, or like, you know, have essentially like a clasp on his belt. And he just grabs one of their hands and just fucking spears it right through the middle of it and puts it right back on his belt. And he's just like, that's mine.
Okay.
You're all mine, but that one specifically is mine. Just, so tired of this bullshit.
And I will say as well, like, during that kind of like scene, the progress you make kind of inspires the warriors around you as well, who also start to like, it starts off a bit tentative because it's an unknown entity. Like, you're not sure if they're suddenly going to be like roar and, you know, take action and etc. Once you will realize that they're not fast, they're not, you know, they're not like technically an issue in terms of combat. They start kind of striking with more confidence that they're not going to be struck back at, and if they are, it's very easy to dodge. Like, already some of you have had like a slow thrust of a spear or a swipe with like a really old like looking sword. It's not difficult to dodge, and I'd say at worst maybe a couple of them have had like a bit of a tussle, whereby they haven't dodged in time. There's been a bit of a grab or like a fairly like reasonably soft like deflection or etc. So there's maybe a cut. Maybe one person has had a bit of a tussle but managed to kind of like kick them off or you know, etc. However, as the
That's not a good noise.
Those words should be banned from Sheepy's mouth.
As the body parts are falling down and the bodies are fairly dismembered of these kind of weird Draugr things that have like come out of the sea, there is still like teeth chattering and like bits of like water noises as like an arm or a leg or whatever is still moving around. You look out over the sea and you start to see helmets slowly rise from the sea as more of these things just slowly start drifting out and rising up from the sea as they start slowly like walking towards you again. Exactly the same things, just more of them. So instead of the like 20 or 30, you've got like 50 or 60. All the same, all just
Do I notice?
I'm
busy. Do I notice?
So I would say my question for you is like how quickly and how well have you been working your way through them?
Oh, I'm sure I'm going through them. Considering how slow they are, I think I'm going through them very rapidly.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm going to punch him to the ground and then I'm going to keep punching him when he's on the ground. No, if it goes down, I'll take something else that's standing up.
Okay.
So it's less of a one-on-one and more of a free-for-all for Harald at the moment.
In that case, what I'll say is after the first couple, it starts to feel easier. Like you start to feel probably because of like letting yourself go into this state of bloodlust and like giving your insanity of crazed Beserkr.
It's not insanity.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's rejected sanity.
Yes, exactly.
You keep saying that. I don't think you know what that means.
It's
you keep using that word.
It's not insanity, it's outsanity.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not suffering from insanity. I'm enjoying every fucking moment.
Yes, you start to feel lighter, you start to feel more invigorated, and as you keep going, it just kind of builds and you're more agile, you're stronger, you're really starting to get into the swing of things and let this kind of like red mist rage of just ripping things apart go. I'm going to say I would like another roll. However, I think it makes more sense in this instance for you to choose exactly what you're rolling.
Out of brawl and
it could be combat, it could be mental. Like it depends what you want to do here.
I think he's gonna keep going until there are none left.
Okay.
I think he lost his brother, so he's not really like, actually, you know what? I should take a step back and consider the situation. I was like, no.
How does this make me feel?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a case of my brother's dead, and here are enemies that I can take out everything on.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hard success.
Roll, okay.
Hey.
Can you also roll me your occult, please?
Yeah. If I had stayed with what I had before, I would have succeeded. But I nerfed it by 20 points.
Which we appreciate. Claps in chat. Okay, for the honest role playing. Well done. We appreciate it.
Well, what's funny is like you started off like low occult, and then you guys like put yours up, and then you just put yours down again. So
yeah,
mine's been up the entire fucking time, but I can't roll past I can't roll a fucking success on that to save my life. I have the highest occult out of everyone here.
You see, the problem is you should be rolling on the floor, so you get low rolls. I think I think that's how that works.
So
I'm not 100%, but I think so.
I'm not a scientist, but
I'm going to present the scene a little bit here. essentially in the center near the ships that are still ablaze, you have Sven, his team, and like kind of a generalized like blob of Vikings who are dealing with them as we're dealing with the Draugr things as they come out of the sea. Slightly further to the left, you have Leaf and his antics, with his throwing axes that he's like stabbing it, like hacking into the beings. The center has very much been decimated quickly, thanks to your efforts and people kind of assisting you. Once you kind of hack them up a little bit, they kind of hack them down to make sure they don't keep getting up, because they started getting up and it was like, nope, less arms, less legs.
You don't need all of these limbs. Chop, 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 chop. Oh yeah, I came up with a name. They're Drowners.
Drowners.
Nice.
Also, as just a little bit of extra wandering in trivia, to explain, like, well, not explain, but to highlight, literally the second that I was like, all right, so, and started the game, my brain went, I have to pee. And so the entire time after that, I was like, let's just get to a point.
You know what the funny thing is, chat? Before, when we're in the intro, he's like, okay, if anyone needs a drink or needs to go to the bathroom,
I 100%,
now.
I 100%
said, does it himself.
Yeah, I 100% said that, like, right before we went, right before you all saw us, I was like, okay, if anyone needs to pee,
there's hypocrisy, and then there's sheepy.
We are a car full of small children that we say as soon as the car starts going, we all decide we have to pee.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, the driver didn't take a piss before he got in.
Yeah. But yes, so essentially, like, you have dealt with, let's call it the first wave, and you are all kind of standing there, seeing the next set, like more of them, like slowly stepping out of the sea and slowly moving towards you. I'd say at this point, the hand that you've like put on your waistband or like in your kind of belt hip area, like starts kind of like, you feel like a tickling, and just like it starts like grabbing your chain shirt or your armor or your shirt.
I'm sorry. The only thing I can imagine is back scratcher. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to kill you.
It's all good.
Back scratcher.
And it's just like pulling at it, and I mean, like, can it do? Do I find any danger in it, or am I just like, it's still moving?
It's still moving, and there's like, it's not like Cousin It. It doesn't have mobility or anything. It's literally just grasping, and like, as it like catches a little bit of your shirt, it grabs the shirt. Like, there's no kind of threat there. It's just still.
Gotcha.
It's an indication of being still, like
active,
and it's still existing in its only hand state.
So I just kind of feel that, and I look around and just like, fuck. Where's Leaf, by the way? Sorry, where is Leaf?
Leaf's slightly off to your left. Like, you've got the core of your band and a few warriors like around you who've Leaf is with other Vikings like just to your left. Harold's a little bit ways to your right, and essentially like you're in a like vague line bunch across the like edge of the sea.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Sven is just gonna kind of look at this and see that they're coming out, and then see the boats, and then just kind of take a moment, and Harald is still losing his fucking mind. So like, Sven realizes that this is not going to end. This is not going to end. Like, and if I try to stop Harald, he's gonna kill me. And then I look at Leaf I find Leaf and I go, Leaf, we can't. This is not our fight. This doesn't have to be where we die. This is not our fight. Get Harald. You have to stop him.
You see, and Leaf will turn his head, and his face is just covered in blood, and just like, and then just turns back and keeps hacking.
I'm busy.
and then Sven just kind of goes, Aki, what are we? And then he looks at the rest of his people, and then he looks at the rest of the mercenaries and just goes, our employer is dead.
Can you roll me a spot hidden, please, Sven?
Oh God, what?
Oh no! Oh no!
Ah! Oh!
And Sven trips and falls and puts his head through something else.
God, a 2 and a 97. What the fuck?
You suck at this, Goober. I hate to tell you, but you suck at this.
So
I mean, except when I don't, because when I don't, I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
So you hear a crunch, a gurgle, and a splash to your right as you are like shouting around like, we should leave, employer dead. And you and your band around you, along with some of the warriors as well, like turn slightly to see Harald like mouth around the neck of one of the Vikings to the right, like just having crashed down upon him, like with both of his like these like spiked knuckles like embedded in the man's like arm and leg, and just like blood kind of like spurting from his neck as Harold is like partially ripped out part of his throat. You've seen things like this before. Essentially, when a warrior goes berserk, generally speaking, they won't just go full bore and end up with no consciousness of friend or foe. What seems like what has happened is Harald has destroyed all of the creatures around him, and because there's like a little gap in between the ones who are still slowly coming out of the surf, has just immediately jumped to the next.
I like the idea of going, I can't, I don't want to get wet.
And what I would say is, yeah, you know what? Like, keep going for now.
Yeah, okay.
I would say at this point, Aki kind of looks at you and says, "You were saying something about leaving."
What do we? I don't know what to do.
We could go. And Aki kind of looks around and goes, "What about the village?"
Yes, absolutely. Anywhere but here. And Sven talked to Leaf. He just saw what fucking Harald did. He's done. He's done. He's fucking done. Yeah. This is not an honorable fight. This isn't a way to fucking die in battle. These aren't fights. This is just being mauled and slowly rolled over by a tide of nightmares. He's not interested in this, and his fucking boss is dead. So he's like, fuck this, we're out. And he just like signals to the rest of the mercenaries that are also alive, and he's just like, to the village. If they want to die here, they can. Okay.
And I would say, Harald, obviously you don't really register much of that.
Yeah.
Leaf, you would register that, but obviously you are in your own mindset, so we'll visit that momentarily.
I think that Leaf would be, as long as he's not berserk like Harold is, but like if
he's in a more like fatalistic mindset where it's just like
he's not gonna, as long as he's not getting swarmed and like it's like surrounded, if he starts being surrounded, he'll back up, because it's not a suicidal, but like you said, fatalistic, like we're fucked. And
so what I would say to help with that is, as you hear that from them, the band kind of like gathers together in a tighter knot and just starts moving away up towards the forest, like up the incline. The majority of the Vikings around him like follow suit very quickly because there is a wave of these drowned coming out of the sea. There are more of them, and essentially, like, you are not surrounded. They move quite slowly. You could still manage to keep fighting. The problem is that because there are more of them and less of the Vikings, because I'd say a good like half at least have followed Sven. The rest are either distracted dealing with a few stragglers or looking around like torn as to whether to stay with you all or to leave. You're essentially going to maybe have too many to deal with. Like every time you every time you swing at one will give the others a few more seconds to get closer. With more and more of them coming out of the sea, eventually it's going to reach that point.
So I will, Leaf will like back up a little bit, couple steps, and move towards Harold, but he's gonna stay a good distance from him and be like,
yeah, I was gonna say, keep in mind that Harold has currently got his teeth locked around the throat of another Viking.
He's killing friendlies at this point, dude.
No.
Oh.
No,
wait, I thought you went to kill. You're killing another Viking, somebody that came in with us.
You were attached.
That guy totally got in my line of fire. That's not my fault.
Define friendly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I never liked that guy.
So he'll be back within. He'll be back within like, say 10, 15 feet of Harold. He's gone back behind him.
Okay.
And be like,
stay in his blind spot.
That's what it is. It's completely in his blind
stay
spot.
downwind.
Like,
grab a stick. Hey, boy.
And he'll be like, Harold, I know you can't hear me right now, but your brother, we must honor him. You dying here will not honor him. You will not avenge him, letting these monsters take you down. Retreat with the rest of us, Harold. Retreat for now. We will fight some more soon.
It's all very touching, but
roll me spot hidden, please.
Okay.
Or occult, either one.
No, I'd rather spot hidden.
Okay.
They're both terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why was that your preference?
Because my spot hidden's 25 and my occult's 15. So
yeah, but if you roll 53, it doesn't fucking matter, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, unless Harold has a reason why that might reach him in any way.
No.
He
might react when he's biting friendlies. That might not push him out of it, but push him towards like a surface essentially. But when he tastes blood, because I guess these things, you said they don't bleed, so when he tastes blood, like warm blood, that might push him closer towards consciousness.
Okay. In that case, if you want, I would say I am happy to leave it to what you think would pull Harold out, or give a chance to pull Harold out. So in this instance, if you'd like to roll, please feel free to pick something appropriate to break him out. Or if you want, we could have Leaf roll to break him out if the blood is enough to like...
Yeah, it did not.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that could be like a reversed thing.
Mm.
So a failed persuade means he doesn't stay in; he gets pushed out.
I would say if we're talking,
because he doesn't want to leave.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. But it's I don't
know. I'm happy to go with your translation of that. If you feel like the persuade is basically like
Yeah, it's the closest we have, right?
Yeah.
I would rather have like a persuade towards him.
Yeah. Okay.
And then like a opposed persuade, but we don't have that. So
I mean, I could. Do you want to roll persuade then?
I was going to say what we
Yeah.
can say here is that gives an opening for Leaf to maybe like break in.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for a persuade.
Okay. I'll be okay. Oh.
God damn it.
Oh.
Oh, our rolls are hilarious.
So
Our rolls don't apply to physics. Like they don't.
We don't have karmic dice here. This is
No, we
history.
don't.
so I will say, as you speak to him, as you finish, Harald, like, his head whips up towards you and you think you've gotten his attention. In his eyes, there's nothing. And you realize that instead of actually looking towards you, that head motion was ripping the throat out of the Viking warrior beneath him. And actually part of an esophagus, like, splat lands at your feet. And without even a single, like, second or thought, Harald jumps on the nearest Drownedger that is just coming out of the surf, and just starts like laying into it and like ripping. You see like an arm like fly off as he just like rips it apart.
Okay. Leaf has one more idea.
Okay.
And that is, he's gonna go and to the body of his brother and be like, Harold, look what they did to your brother. If you die now, you don't avenge him. And then he's just like, and then backs up some more because he doesn't like even more like poking the bear. It's like no, like Leaf's gonna be like I've known Harold for like our entire lives. We've been raiding together for like what 20 years or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a long time. And so it's like I know how important his brother is, but it's like this is like he talked about it. This was him when he just first started raiding, where he would go like Beserkr, and then like it would just be like you couldn't stop him until there was no one left. And now then like him attacking his own guys is just like Leaf's like, dude, I've lost it, and this is even crazier. So he's like, and then he backs up and he starts like backing. He's like slowly backing up towards Sven and the rest of the Vikings, because he's like, even with how lost fucking Leaf is, he's like, you can see he's getting. This is a hopeless cause because there's so many of them.
Yeah. So my question, because I think at this point, especially with the like insane blind like berserker killing of the Viking, like there were a few hesitant because Leaf, a few of the more veteran Vikings were still like fighting or like preparing to fight. With Harald like ripping Sword apart, I think everyone has pretty much decided this is a pointless, weird fight, and it's not like the prospect of fighting the like weird undead zombie mummy Drownedgers isn't like super interesting, or it's a very different vibe from a like the fight you had with the Englishman was kind of fun. This is not.
This is new and not in a good way.
Yes, this is not super fun for most people. So,
these guys don't scream when you kill them. This sucks.
There's not even any blood.
Yeah, I don't want some damp tweed. I want loot.
So I'm just gonna do a quick. I want to see something here. Go with. You know what? That makes sense. Alright, cool.
Oh God. More failures.
Hey, it is a day for failure. Aside from the person who usually fails a lot, which is Sven, who's getting crit successes and stuff as well. So all of the Vikings, most of them gathered around Sven and his band who are heading back to the village. They band together and they start, they push up the incline, they push through into the forest. Leaf, are you following, pretty close by, or are you...
I'm backing up towards them, so there's a gap, but it's not because I'm still watching. I'm watching Harold. I'm watching him, and just it's that thought process of I knew we were screwed, but now Harold's lost his mind. His brother's dead. I mean, the Y'all's dead. Everything is like this, and our ships are burned, and so it's just it's kind of there's no hurry to anything from him. He's not he's just kind of backpedaling, and then he's gonna eventually kind of just turn around he's gonna go put his head look around and just kind of go
peace.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, Harold is not, I mean, Harold has kicked Leaf's ass more than once in wrestling and shit. He's bigger than him, and he's just it's not that he doesn't care, but he's kind of hopeless. It's the hopeless of just gonna start walking towards Ven, and then nothing he could do.
Okay. So you're heading off with Sven. Essentially,
Yep.
There's a second where you hold and you're maybe? No.
Yeah, and it's I mean, the any hope he thought of Harold being Harold and me, when he fucking launched into that neck, he was yeah, I don't think there's anything left of Harold anymore. It is just it's a fucking beast. It's not a man anymore. It's a beast.
So in that case, you kind of catch up just as they're essentially slowly disappearing into the forest. You catch up with the main group as a few of the other Viking warriors essentially also move up into the forest and disappear into the blackness that the dark that the forest provides to a degree. And the scene left behind is of Harald jumping from Drownedger to Drownedger, ripping them apart. And as that happens, we see what the other warriors couldn't see, which is this kind of semi-ethereal, ghostly outline around Harold of this grey-blue tattooed figure with a skull, a deer skull helmet head with antlers around it, and the blue sheen of the moon slowly shifts into a darker, deeper crimson red as each of these Drownedger, each of these dead mummified bodies that he rips apart stop moving. The ones on the beach also stop moving, and this small black smoky essence slowly drifts up from the smoky black essence drifts up from the bodies and slowly all coalesce into Harald's body and start kind of being absorbed by and expanding. Harald, you feel more and more energized the more of these vague bodies you rip apart. The satisfaction of the snap of the bones is nice, but there's no satisfaction of piercing flesh really, or
there's no taste.
Yeah, there's no tasting blood. The smell isn't great. And as you land again for a second, you feel your own bones start to like shift slightly. You hear it. There's a couple of like crackings around your ribs. It essentially, you start to contort slightly enough to like slow you down and like slow your movements. So you're kind of like,
oh really?
You're kind of like crawling across the sand very slowly, as the wolf's head that is adorned on your head and back. The camera sees it slowly like starts to like absorb into your skin and like ripple under your skin.
What the fuck? What is happening?
As like your hand and fingers start to like extend and the nails get a bit longer and like small, slightly long hairs start to like sprout out of like your legs and your arms and your back. And as the color of the blue moon for Sven's group and for the Vikings like fleeing into the woods, as that shifts from a blue to a green, you all hear in the distance, back where you came from, a howl.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
He is Harald Half-Wolf.
God, and not anymore. He's Harald the fucking whole wolf. The whole ass wolf.
Harald
the
whole
entire
wolf.
100% fuck you wolf.
And Harold, your focus shifts away from these like, because your vision shifts slightly. It goes a bit more grayscale, a bit more black and white, but also
muted colors and stuff.
Yeah, muted colors, but there are little flares of color in your senses. Essentially, these beings in front of you, these things like slowly drifting out of the water, they hold no color for you and no interest for you.
Okay.
They're not even warm. But
how about the twitching body of the Viking at my feet?
Yeah, to a degree. However, the more interesting colors for you are small trails leading away from the beach into the woods.
Yeah.
And you pick up on one of the trails that's kind of off by itself to the side. You raise your snout towards the sky and howl. And yeah. And then on all fours, quite quickly, you know what? I would say not on all fours. I'd say
I'd say he's still bipedal.
I'd say probably like quite heavily crouched over and like running kind of almost like you're horizontal. You charge forward into the forest, chasing one of those individual trails.
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies, I missed some fucking crazy shit because Carly was barking her nuts off here.
No problem.
What just happened?
Harald is losing interest in the things coming out of the water and now looking for warm-blooded things.
Oh,
and
he's
following warm footprints going the other way. He's still bipedal. Sort of. Hunched over, but bipedal. Yeah, for very much for now. Let's see what it is like in 35 seconds.
Who got asked whether the hunter or the hunted? Was that Sven or
it was Sven?
You were hunted. I am hunter. Harald wants more skulls for his throne.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So, let's go. I would say probably walking to jogging through the forest as a tight-knit group. Again, you have this like very faint, almost it's difficult to not say corruptive, because the sensation of this like green light coming down through the leaves from the moon, it feels a little bit sticky. It feels a little bit kind of gross. Almost like dew, like morning dew in the morning, just that like slight film of liquid. That's kind like as you're jogging, running through the forest together, like every time you step through this like green moonbeams that are like piercing through the forest, you get that sensation of like passing through like a thin mist of like water. And the forest itself again is pretty dark, and there's enough to see by the moonlight, but it is still completely quiet. I take it you're heading towards the village?
Yep.
Settlement? Okay.
Just like, fuck that, points up the moon, fuck that, fuck this. We're going to the village. We're going to regroup there. They've at least got some defenses, and, if whatever, like, they may hate us, but they're going to hate dying to whatever that shit is more, so we'll fucking deal with it there. And Sven is just like, nope, fuck this. Also, wait, hard stops. Turns around. Where the fuck is the Jarl?
Aki says, like, I didn't see him.
I assumed he was dead because I didn't see him, but we didn't find a body.
Maybe
Is Leaf with us yet?
Yes. Leaf would be like a little bit behind, but like easily catch up.
And he's just kind of asking around. He goes, did anybody actually see the Jarl?
One of the warriors says, maybe he was taken by one of those things.
Then we have to regroup anyway and figure out how to go find him. So I stand by the decision. Fuck that. Oh, God. Leaf, did you see the Jarl? Are you sure? Did anybody?
He won't be catching up with us.
Maybe he died from that thing attacking him.
Well, you seem very sure that he's not going to be catching up with us. What does that mean? What happened to him?
He's in a better place.
Leaf will be like, he's not with us anymore.
So you did see his body. So you know he died.
Yes. He's dead.
Well, sorry about your Jarl and all, but you'll understand that we've now got to figure out how to survive this. Okay. All right. Back to the village. Great. I have no questions other than fucking how do we get there faster? Because I don't know what's happening.
Sven, you guys could follow me. I'm the lead. I am the senior ranked person who's, what do we call it? Would it be like, because I would be like one of the oldest people in this whole group. Like now Harold's gone and
veteran.
Now, veteran. Like, I'd be like, yes.
Harold's not gone. He's still very much around here somewhere.
Oh no. Okay, let me rephrase that. Harold is no longer.
Harold's mind is gone. That I can agree with.
He's not communicating well. Like, yeah, let's all meet back up in the village.
I would pause at you saying you can follow me or whatever, and Sven would have been like, no offense. And genuinely, I mean no offense. But I don't necessarily follow orders from you. You're not paying me.
Well,
and my employer just died.
Let's
so
have a
we're
little.
Gonna figure out how to work out together to get out of this nightmare.
Let's have a little review of why we're even here. When I told the y'all that we needed to get the fuck out of here, nobody listened. He didn't listen. None of you listened. So how about you listen to the person who had the idea of getting the fuck out of here? Because I knew this place was fucking cursed, but nobody wanted to listen to me. Oh, there were people who did, but you let your fucking greed get to all of you. So why don't you listen to the only person who had an idea that maybe getting the fuck out of here was a good idea, Sven? You're fucking mercenaries and your friends. I dig you all. You're all wonderful warriors. But nobody wanted to listen to me when I said get the fuck out of here. So how about we listen to me now?
A wind like breezes through the trees, and there's like a creaking of tree branches
but regardless, I don't want to be here in this fucking forest. Let's go now. We'll discuss this when we get back to the village.
Ben kind of like eyes his mercenaries like the rest of his group. Like, number one, like Sven's group like heavily outnumbers Leaf.
Leaf. Yes.
I don't know how many others there are from the village that are not part of the mercenary group that are with us now.
So total, you've got about 30 with you.
And they are, what percentage of that would be mercenaries?
I would say probably about 10 are mercenaries, so about 20 are
okay.
Were with the Jarl and were part of the main, regular raiding force. The thing is your performance along with your band's performance was enough to solidify a slight shift in power. I'm not saying they'd necessarily like gang up with you against one of their own. It was just enough to
convince them to leave.
Well, they'd also definitely hesitate to gang up against you. So there is and I would say Leaf, you probably get that vibe too. Like, they're following him currently. I wouldn't say you'd be confident that they'd back you. Like, it would thematically come down to probably a dice roll if it did head that way.
Well, I mean, and there's that thing where, I mean, Leaf is obviously, he's had his trying to, kind of take charge once before get shot down. But at this point, this is a nihilistic kind of view. Like, there's no like sunshines and rainbows and puppies anymore. This is just he thinks he's right and he's going to say it out loud. And regardless, whatever that, he's not going to fight right now with him about it anyways, but he's pissed. He's pissed because he was like, I was right and you fuckers didn't listen to me. Yeah.
I'd say at this point, as both of you are kind of like semi-squaring up to each other, there's like probably a slight movement from both of you of like, hey now, like I swell myself up first. I'm bigger. At that point, Vigdis actually like slaps her hand on your chest. She's reasonably small, so, but she's a proficient fighter. And she's part of, just as a reminder to anyone who doesn't remember, because she hasn't featured since the translating part, she like slaps her hand against your chest, Sven, and says, we have other things to worry about right now. I can talk to the people back at the village, so I can explain what's going on. It'll be quicker if I take the front.
And then Sven looks at Leaf, and then just kind of like a bag. Vigdis, Leaf.
Yeah.
Vigdis. Fine. Let's go.
Yeah. You can swing your dick at each other's when we get back to the village.
Sven doesn't say anything, he just follows.
And
they both go, oh, can we?
Wee.
And as you all kind of settle down and then turn and start to move, there is a soft thump in the moss in front of you as a tall, gangly, long-limbed, long-fingered, like, creature just drops from the canopy above you and kind of like lands like right in front of Vigdis. This like elongated skeletal deer stag skull with like with like horns that go up, with like entrails like dangling off it, and as you all like pause for a second, in like surprise and shock, the mouth like opens, this kind of like sickly green in the light, like steam breath, like just curls out, and the jaw of this thing is just like jagged and sharp, and you hear this kind of like low kind of like grumble hiss type noise.
Oh, don't do it.
So I'll just roll quickly.
There's some people around here are fucking weird, man.
Oh!
So I'm just saying, we three were normal. Everyone else weird.
And Vigdis recovers quicker than everyone else because it's like right in front of her, and she like screams and like jams her sword forwards, and it goes straight through the belly and stomach of this thing, like all the way through and out the other side, as she like shoulder barges into it, and there's this kind of like black blood that like flies out the back of it as it kind of like hunches over slightly as she like rams the sword into it and through it, and she like gives off this like kind of battle cry of like ah, and like slams up into it, and there's like a second pause, and then she's like grabbed by these like long arms around her body. You start to hear like the crack and the crunch of bone, and the mouth, this kind of like stag skull, like opens up and just like clamps down along her like neck, and you just see this like massive spray of blood as the jaw like closes, and her like battle cry turns into a scream as she like falls to the ground, and it falls to the ground with her, and you hear like the crunch of like muscle and bone as this like jaw like just crunches down on her.
And Leaf is going to scream, "Attack!" And just he's gonna start chucking knives at it. He's gonna pull out throwing knives and start chucking them, because it's on top of her. Like, so we know she's pretty fucked at this point. So throwing knives at the thing.
Yeah.
The sword in the stomach didn't do anything. Let's chuck some small swords at it.
And
werewolf boy.
The knives like thud into its body as the screaming continues. Like Vigdis is kind of like writhing underneath it, like kicking and like drawing the sword out now and like stabbing up into it. The rest of the Vikings, like Sven, you.
Yeah, I would have immediately just like, I still have my fucking axes in my hands, they haven't left, and I just immediately run over and I'm just like screaming, and as I get to it, I just like fucking wail on it. I'm just like, I'm trying to cut the head off. I'm literally just trying at the back of the neck, because it's biting down and going at that. All I'm screaming is just like, I will not be the hunted, and just going nuts at it.
All right, roll me a melee for the why nots.
Fucking God.
It's fine. The head doesn't come off, but you do like the axes are going in, and like there's kind of like this like vague black blood. It's not like spraying everywhere, but it's like residual and like little bits of globs like flying off of this thing. The rest of the Vikings like join in and start like laying in, like spears go into its side, like swords like plunged into it, axes like embed in it. And after like a very, very active, like I'd say 5 to 10 seconds of just hacking and screaming, and Vigdis screaming and kicking, like slowly getting a bit less energetic and so forth, the thing just kind of like, it's almost like its strings are cut, and it kind of just loses all mobility, all motion, and just kind of like turns into like a heap of dead like matter.
Interesting.
Is it on top of her still? Is she like
kind of, yes, but I would say easily enough it could be kicked off. And
so?
I would say probably Aki, who is also close, would most likely like move forward to like see how Vigdis is doing. Anyone else like?
Oh yeah, I mean obviously
Yeah, I mean,
is gonna help try to pull her out from underneath it.
Okay.
as soon as the body kind of goes limp, it's just like Dick axes and yanking off as best he can.
Yeah. And there's like a kind of like as Vigdis is like pulled out, like you and Leaf and Aki, a couple of other people, kind of like kneel down, and she's kind of like coughing up blood and very clearly like ebbing away. Could everyone roll me spot hidden, please? Sorry, aside from obviously Harold.
Oh, fuck it. What? It's fucking... Okay. Never middle of the road with me. Never.
You rolled a hard success.
Yep.
Okay. Sven, you see this kind of like vague red residual like mist kind of like seep into the wound, like pour into the wounds on the like shoulder from the beast into Vigdis.
It's going into the shoulder?
Yeah. And she's like coughing, and she's like almost slipping out of consciousness, and she's like, Sven. And she like holds up her hand. She's like, my sword.
He grabs the sword and gives it to her, and he goes, yeah, go ahead.
She grabs it and like smacks it onto her chest. Like, you know, like
And
not
then-
stabbed, but just like along her chest, you know, kind of like almost like a burial kind of like position.
Yep. And then immediately as he does this, he goes, the warrior's death! And then he fucking just cuts her head off.
And the sword like
What the fuck?
flies
Is this in
down.
Japan?
The sword like flies down and just like slices her neck, and her head like rolls away. And Aki's like, Sven, what the hell?
He drops his axes and he goes, did none of you see what was happening to the body? Did none of you see that? Am I the only one that saw that?
No, what are you talking about?
There was something coming from the beast that killed her, and it was going into her body. Wait, it's not crazy to think that whatever was going to... She was dead. She was dying. She was leaving us. Whatever was happening there would have kept her around, would have caused her more pain, would have caused us more pain, and would have put us at risk. I did us a favor. Did us a favor.
Sven, I completely agree, but we need to get the fuck out of here. Let's go to this village now. I don't want to be in these woods. I commend you for doing that, but we need to go.
Sven just I look at Aki. I'm just like, trust me, Aki. Trust me. I know what I saw.
Leaf completely believes you. He's like, yup. He didn't see it, but yep.
You hear oh, you can run, Sven, but can you run far enough from the head of Vigdis that you have just cut off?
What the fuck?
And all of a sudden, no one has any problems with you cutting the head off anymore. Completely exonerated.
And then Sven sees that, looks back at everyone else, and goes. He picks up his axes and goes, "We're going."
Leaf kicks the fucking head like a soccer ball.
Yeah, and the head kind of like rolls and bounces a little bit, and as you all like run off into the woods, you hear this kind of echoing like, "Run, fools, run!"
Oh my god.
No, likey.
As we rejoin the hunt.
Now I really don't like that you two had an after class session last week because
Hey, this is what happens when you bring teacher an apple and stay after class.
Yep.
Extra credit.
Brown-nosing.
Extra
Brown-nosing
credit, yeah,
fuck.
exactly.
Extra credit works sometimes, kids.
Extra teeth.
Enjoy that extra credit. We'll be waiting in the fucking parking lot, nerd.
So, Harald, you are
Yes.
following the trail.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was it just one set of footprints I was following, or was it?
so it's not really footprints, it's more like color. So
Oh, right.
You're seeing everything in a very toned down, almost
Okay.
like
Change a bit. Is it one trail I'm following, or is it like? Does it look like? Because there was a bunch going in another direction, right? And then there was one.
There's like a big like wad of all different like colors and like sensations like all heading together, and there's a few like individual trails. Like you essentially started off, there are a couple of trails like reasonably close together, and then they kind of split off in different directions. You like honed in on one of them as you're like following it. You can, the sensation is mostly, the color is mostly blue for this one. It's what attracted you to this trail specifically. Some of the other colors have like green and red tinted in with them, making them a bit less pure. This one is very heavily blue and a little bit of black in there as well, maybe. As you follow it, the like you feel the sensation of like the undergrowth like whipping past you, like the trees like going past you as you speed up, as you get faster. You feel like a slow, not quite as pronounced, but just a slow like growing of your limbs, like much more strength in your body as the red of the moon like invigorates you and like energizes you.
Now when I find my prey, I won't be tired. And I won't get tired.
And my question is, I guess, is like, how are you hunting this your prey?
Smell and sense, like smell and sight.
But like, are you looking to ambush? Are you looking to just
first catch
down?
Up? Generally, I think,
Yeah.
and then as a wolf, he's still used to being a pack animal. He's not usually alone in a fight, but now he finds himself alone, and now he's gonna have to be a little bit more careful. But he's still, like, at the moment, he's just enjoying the hunt itself.
Okay. In that case, I will switch perspectives to to one of the warriors. We don't know his name. We don't exactly know what his involvement in everything is.
Would you like a name?
We have joined him now, and what he is experiencing is almost completely fear. He's comfortable in the shield wall. He's comfortable taking a swing at an enemy. He is not Harald. He's not Leif. He's not the Jarl who is skilled and comfortable in battle. He feels fear in battle, and this has caused him to run off by himself. He is desperately pushing through the forest, deeper into it. The moon around him is blue, and he hears a noise as he is running through the forest, and he feels the sensation of being chased. He stops in the darkness with a small beam of moonlight blue, like highlighting where he is. Safety in the light. He looks around and he sees, almost at like hip height, like really low down, two red glowing eyes in the darkness outside of the light, and he he flourishes his axe and his shield, and he kind of like, in his fear and realizing that whatever is actually chasing him has caught up, the bravado of like a warrior shouts, like, no confidence behind it, and there's probably a small amount of urine running down his leg at this point. He prepares to, the second he gets a chance, to run away or to get away, but that fear is currently rooting him. He worries if he runs, he'll be chased, and whatever's chasing him will take him down from behind. Harold, you are stalking around in a circle. Your prey has seen you, but it doesn't know you.
No, yeah, and it doesn't fucking matter.
And it doesn't understand the power that you now hold. And you are still in your wolf-like rage, in your wolf-like, the haze of red is still there. But now it both bolsters you, but you can remain sane within it. Like, you have choice, you have decisions you can hold, and you can release it in a burst when you need.
I think if I'm allowed to narrate this scene a little bit.
Oh yeah. I will say, from this point forward, unless it's a very skilled enemy or more than one, you do not have to roll.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Do I have to roll to attack him?
No.
I think
this scene is yours.
Yeah, I think what we see here is him kind of looking around for the noise at first, and then getting the eyes, and then we see like teeth, essentially, and before the camera cuts to a different part of the forest, and you just hear a scream. And its scream is short and sharp and cuts off because he doesn't have a throat anymore, so he can't scream.
Oh my god.
And
Why have you done this? Why have you done this? I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this.
Oh fuck. I can't believe you've done
Oh,
this.
Charlie bit my throat.
I can't believe.
The camera like slides through the forest, like quiet now and deathly silent. And as it slowly moves towards this one like blue kind of like shaft of light coming through the trees, you see like surrounded by total darkness is this like red bloody body with Harold just jaws deep in his chest. And you hear like a soft kind of like meaty kind of consumption happening, and then the camera cuts away and fades back in on the sorry, yes.
I would love, because I think Harold has also changed a bit from the beach to now.
I would say if you'd like to flourish a little more transformation during that bit, feel free to. Yeah.
So I think at this stage, Harald hears a noise and looks up and looks into the camera.
Yeah.
And there is nothing of Harald left.
Yeah.
It's all wolf. The only thing about it that is Harald is the size of it, because there was never a wolf that was 6 foot 6'2" or 6'4" or whatever. That's never happened. So the only thing about it is that is human is the size of it, and it's big human size, and then also the intelligence behind the eyes is more than you would see from a wolf.
Could you also roll me your occult, please? Feel free to up it by like 10 to 20 points.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably more now than it was. I'll put it back
more.
to where it was before I nerfed it. Hey, success.
As Harald like looks up to the camera and like maybe one of his ears like cocks to the side, like trying to catch some noise or something. There's like a twitching of the body, and then the chest kind of like slowly bulges with darkness. A black kind of like bubble starts to come out of the chest cavity, and then like pops and oozes around the body, like enveloping it and like extending all around it. And then after like a couple of minutes, after like maybe a minute
of constant munch.
well, I would say you're probably not munching at this point.
Oh, okay.
The body like sits up, like glistening with this kind of like muscled black sorry, not black, but like kind of gray blue, like muscle and sinew and everything, with like tattoos down the body, and a stag skull on the head. Not the head isn't a stag skull like the other one that they encountered out there. It's like a stag skull on the head with like glowing red eyes and the antlers, and it like sits up and like gets into kind of like a one knee kneeling position, and then reaches its hand out and puts its hand on Harold's like haunches, like its shoulder of the wolf, and says, "Shall we hunt, my lord?" And as the camera fades in on Sven's party and the remainders of the Vikings, probably about 30 to 35 of them, stepping out from the forest into the clearing, sighting the village with like very small torches and fires like vaguely illuminating it, in the distance, a howl of a wolf is heard as the light of the moon shifts to a red. And we will stop there for today.
I know everyone wanted this to become a furry show, so I figured I'd oblige.
So,
like the hedgehog after this.
yeah, things happened this episode. I can tell you two things for sure. The Jarl was infected, and if he woke up, would have gone berserker.
Oh shit!
So it's a good thing that you. It's a good thing that you killed. I don't know if you remember, but he had when fake Eskil died, he like the red of his eyes like kind of faded out, and then this kind of like smoky mist like came out of his body. None of you noticed because you didn't succeed your rolls, but it went into the Jarl.
I did not know that.
That had nothing to do with me murdering him, but
Oh, I know. It was also a very good choice to decapitate Vigdis. Aki was going to be stabbed.
Ooh.
So you guaranteed that Aki will continue. Although how much help that will be with his fucking rolls, I don't know.
Who fucking knows? The dude snapped his own bow.
Yeah. At least he didn't shoot you.
Sucks.
Aki.
Oh my god.
And now we have the Beserkr. Like the show is now Beserkr because Beserkr is turned into a werewolf and is leading the. It referred to him as my lord. Like he's in charge of them. No.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? I hate this.
I mean, you know, you had the
Can't
choice.
believe you've done this.
Hunter or hunted, you know?
Harald Wolfednar has changed his name to the wolf formerly known as Harald.
I mean, how many? But really, like the only one who really had a choice to be a hunter was Harold, because he's the one who lost his.
Not entirely true. Sven was asked in his green dream whether he was a hunter or the hunted. And I don't believe he answered. No. So.
I didn't get a chance to. I woke up.
And Harold, it all basically came down to how that fight at the beach went, and Harold just like I think he failed his occult and he succeeded his melee. Like he heavily succeeded his ball.
And to be fair, it went exactly like I wanted it to.
I failed every roll to try to get him out of it.
Yeah,
too, so.
If I had picked and chosen my rolls, I would have picked and chosen them to end like that.
Yes, that was. I was watching it. I was like, I'm gonna go with the rolls. Like if he snaps out of it, or if he doesn't, if he manages to hold out, he'll come back to himself. He'll keep going. They're gonna keep trying to subsume him, but
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it, and then obviously it went exactly how would be worst case scenario for you guys, which is that he just lost himself to the rage and to the he kind of basically gave himself over to
I don't think he lost himself. It was a case of, hey, do you want to go crazy? And it was like, you know what, that sounds good right now.
All work and no play makes Harold
I've been really needing a vacation, and this just sounds like a really nice way to break loose.
I just want a vacation from me, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You were gonna ask. You were gonna ask something, Goops.
It kind of reminded me of like what was that? There's like a 40K Space Wolf thing, the Wolfen or something.
The Wolfen. Yeah,
the Wolfen. They're like literally werewolves.
Yeah,
but
I mean that's their corruption in their gene seed. So that's
Who's a sheep fucker now? Who's a sheep fucker now? You fucking
sheep eater.
I feel like more of a sheep eater.
No, sheep fucker. Sheep fucker. Because he fucks the dead
I might
bodies.
fuch some sheep up, if that counts.
The other thing that I would say probably played a part was all of the Vikings leaving. It basically took away the blue moon and shifted it to a red, which meant that there was nothing left like holding back the rage and the everything for Harold. It allowed the actual beginning of the transformation, like shifting.
So you're saying it's Sven's fault for like getting everyone to leave?
Well, technically the blue moon.
Come at me, Leaf. Let's fucking go.
Hey.
Right now. I rolled a 2 today, bitch. Let's roll.
Technically, the blue moon is Leaf's.
Yeah.
So when he left, the blue moon left, along with a couple of the other Vikings who also left, who are under the blue moon currently. Sven,
I like that moon thing because I don't understand how it works at all, and I don't want to.
Sven moved into the forest, which is the green moon, which is his domain currently. So.
And now Vigdis is dead, but.
Hopefully
stays dead.
Yeah, I mean, like,
don't make that sound. Don't make that sound.
I felt a little bit bad giving her a role, but it was literally whether she was just going to stand there pissing herself, or whether she was going to like have a last hurrah of you know.
I was legitimately ready for Vigdis to get like her torso bit off. Like this whole thing just eats her entire fucking body.
If she'd have failed her role, she would have just stood there and like got her entire head just knomped by this thing.
Yep.
I'm thinking of what happens to Bishop at the end of Aliens, where the queen like spears him in half.
But yeah. So before we go into outros and etc. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Any thoughts? Like, you know, obviously this episode was fairly action-packed, to say the least. So,
I have one thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a statement.
I thought we were getting into this fun game of raiding these little English villages and just hugs and rainbows and unicorns. And
that's not what you thought at all.
We're
playing the Call of Cthulhu system, sir, and you knew that when we started.
when the meat canyon is the least uncomfortable part of the it's like everything went downhill after the meat canyon. It's like
you never go full meat canyon, Chad. No. You never go full meat canyon.
And as a sidebar, just so you know, the spot hiddens that you guys failed was you would have got a vision of Harald with the tattoos and the grey-blue skin and the antlers. You'd have known like what was in the process of happening. You may have had a chance to stop it, but
or completely ignored it and gone for it anyway.
Yeah.
Also, you say chance to stop it, like we would be able to stop fucking Harald from doing anything.
I mean,
it's a case of grab his arms, and then there are two people hanging from my arms.
I'd
grab
say
his arms. Oh no, he took our arms.
No. It's a case of roar, and then you grab his arms, and it's still roar. It's just streamers hanging off.
The thing that triggered it was when he bit into the Viking. If you'd have managed to get hands on him and like slapped him conscious or something, or like assisted his role getting out of the mentality, etc., like coming back to his senses, it definitely could have stopped like the progression.
I know I was terrified that he was gonna fucking bite on the me next.
Yeah.
Like that was like it was like, let's go pet the rabid dog that's just had a seizure that doesn't know where it is and what it.
He's frothing at the mouth. He looks friendly.
I bet you he wants a treat.
Yeah.
Just in case, like I figure you guys all picked up on it, but the shoulder tap and the my lord it's the same entity that was
from the dream.
Yeah. Well, Prey also pretending to be his brother, so the one that you guys hacked apart and disappeared. So the reason that came back is because you killed the Jarl. It was kind of like possessing the Jarl, and then you're like, I'm gonna bash the Jarl's brains in and kill him. So it was like, all right,
I'm not gonna stay here, but that guy over there seems to be having fun. Let's just hang around in his body for a little bit.
I mean, the Jarl like kind of fucked us, and Leaf was not having it.
Also, I don't want to telegraph it too hard. I am wondering if you guys picked up the ancient weapons that the Drownedger had were the same as at the village.
The ones from the I caught that. Yep.
Yeah.
I was figuring.
Oh, fuck it! I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. No, I completely had that thought process. I'm
all
like,
of the weapons were like really old.
Yeah, really old
that.
and like rusted and.
Yeah, he had made sure to go over that when he was doing his recap, and I'm like, oh, okay, so there's the same like motherfuckers.
I'm so bad at like picking up on like emphasis like that, or just like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and I'm just like, why? There's a nice trees over there. Like I have fucking no idea what's going on ever.
So yeah, I think at this point it's fairly clear that fighting is reasonably is going to be a rough prospect in terms of survival. So I'm interested. I'm interested in what you guys are going to end up doing next week, and like, you know, in the search for survival. I will remind you there are 3 cardinal directions you can go in if you do wish to leave the village.
We want to go east,
to
right?
Last week, there's only one, and it's east.
yeah, but you want to go east, but there's stuff to the east that will kill you. Where you want to go is to the far east, across the water, and go home.
You gotta go harder east. East.
See, what's funny is for a second there, you guys said east, and my brain went, you want to go to the bog, like the swamp? Like,
oh my god,
that sounds terrifying. And I was like, wait a second, they're talking about, the
it's
never
happening again.
eat seaweed northeast southwest.
Just gonna have to like tattoo it on my hand and be like,
You need a compass emote, or
like,
you just need to get an image of a compass on all of the streams, but all of the cardinal directions just say E.
I'll get a tattoo on the inside of both of my eyelids, so whenever I'm unsure of directions, I can close my eyes and be like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So now we have to start betting pools on what kills Leaf and Sven. If we kill each other or Harold kills us. I mean, there's like options at this point. It's like, yeah.
Well, I am at this stage. I'd like the community get involved and come up with a good pun of Harald and like wolf in some respect. So if we can workshop that for next week, that'd be great. Thank you.
Get homework, chat. Do it.
I would say there's the other option or possibility that one or both of you could also end up succumbing or giving in to the let's call it the call of the hunt. Also, already got it. Howrold. In the chat, Howrold. Wow. Yeah, there you go.
Fucking took 2 seconds. Yeah. Well done.
Whenever you need a good idea or like a good like brain flash thought, you just throw it to chat and someone will come up with something.
Fuck yeah.
I can't leave a thumbs up on people's. I can only report them. That's not what I want to do.
You can drop 100% in chat.
Yeah, but that's just generally chat.
Boom, boom, boom. But yes. Let's
don't even have to change the expression, the pronunciation that much. This is Harold.
Harold. Let's hit the outros, then we'll do the. You know what? Actually, very quickly, seeing as it just might.
We had some super chats, right?
Yes, we have some super chats. I don't think we have any questions, but we can address them. So, Damned Man, who is not acting Inquisitor this time, during the Sisters of Battle show, every time it was like, "Hello, Inquisitor Damned Man here." Now it's just a word of warning with all the magical BS going on. If you see a sword in the stone, don't touch it. Which I can appreciate.
Yes. I'm not my fucking dad.
although, like, you know, you may as well at this point. Like, we also have apologies if I mess up your name here. Pavel Korsar with 2 super chats. One earlier, one at the beginning, one closer towards the end. A word of warning with all the magical BS going on. Strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Which is a nice.
How we went like
Monty
the
Python
first
reference.
part of the stream went like pretty hard into the Monty Python. You know, I appreciate it. Can very much appreciate that.
And then we got another super chat, which is just purely a cast diaper fund, which I'm assuming was triggered by me going to the toilet.
Yep.
Real MVP right there. Diaper fund.
I will say to everyone, like, even if you buy me diapers, that doesn't mean I'm going to wear them on stream.
Oh, it's not for you.
No, it's for us.
Oh, it's for you guys.
Because you go to the bathroom and we have to stay here.
You guys can also go to the bathroom. You aren't locked into your seats.
No one ever told us this shit. We can't go to the bathroom. I had to shit for 4 weeks.
I told you during Fallen. I said you can go to the bathroom. Like, you haven't gone to the bathroom since Fallen. That's your fault.
I literally
go
have
pee
not
every
used
week,
the restroom since the Fallen.
I go pee every week.
It's
in the
now
middle
canonical,
of the show.
chat.
You know where you can do a lot of pee in between shows during the week. And then you don't have to go on the Monday.
We didn't say we could do that.
It's true. I did only say you can go to the toilet during the shows. I didn't say you could go to the toilet.
That's why everyone wants to be on the show, so they can take a piss.
I need to be on another sheep. Like, can you imagine a show ends? You're like, I need to be on another sheepy show so I can pee.
Yeah.
So I can go to the bathroom. So thanks for the diapers,
remember,
Chad.
kids, that supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses and not from some farcical aquatic ceremony.
What is it? Some dozier.
You can't expect to wield supreme executive power just because a watery tart threw a sword at you.
Yeah, watery tart.
Watery tart threw a sword
I mean,
at you.
if I went around saying I was an emperor, just some Moisen bint lobbed a Simdar at me, they put me away.
Oh, genius.
Being an American and hearing the phrase, hearing somebody say tart and bint. When I was a kid, I was like, what is that? A tart is like a food. Like, what the hell is that shit?
Speaking as the only Englishman here, there is a beauty to our insults and like vastness of like just like you can say things like "you wobbly trifle" and it still sounds like an insult.
Yeah.
It makes
I
no
was quintessentially British though.
I have in my past called someone a waffle iron, and it still works as an insult.
Yeah. The semantics has no influence on what it reads as. It's all in the rhythm and the accent.
Qualified words before or after. It's just like you're a waffle iron.
yeah. You can, if you have a good English accent, you can say, "Oh, you absolute pancake," and people will go. They will immediately know what you mean, even though it doesn't mean anything.
What are you doing, you fucking plunger?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about calling someone a waffle iron.
What the fuck?
A plonker is also a common expression. It doesn't mean anything. You absolute plonker.
Plunger. That's really, god damn.
Oh,
That's really good. Okay, well, I like how we derailed the beginning of this fucking show and the end of it.
Just see someone go, "Oh, you absolute fucking pancake."
I am. I'm sick of listening to you, you fucking sponges. Now let's do the outros.
Yeah. Semantics have no influence on what's being said. Not really.
I think the werewolf starts with outros.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
I think I don't want to put myself. I kind of feel like today was Harald's episode.
Yeah, Harold had a time. So
that's what. Yeah.
Come on a raiding party, visit exotic new lands, meet their people, and bite their throats out.
Let's begin with outros and LZT and Harald. Howlrold.
I am Howrald, previously known as Harald. I am the wolf, previously known as Harald. Thanks for watching. Check out the Patreon. We're close to a second fully funded show. Check out the website, oneringin.net. It's all linked down below, I believe. You can find me everywhere where there's a Lima Zulu Tango, except the plane. There's also a plane called Lima Zulu Tango. That's not me. Thanks for watching. I'm not streaming much right now because it's crunch time at school, so I have like 3 exams to do in the next 3 weeks. So I'm a little bit busy. But after that, I'm going full time until the end of the year, basically. So there'll be lots of leatherworking and games and role plays and stuff. I'm gonna hot potato it over to Rod.
Okay. Find me on Twitch and Twitter and whatever, going to at Rod_Johnston, and I'm just doing various things and putting my dogs out there. My book of poetry is out on Amazon. You could order that. It's called The Death and Rebirth of a Human Heart. And and I have a podcast called Murder Moose where we talk about random horror movies. And this week we're talking about Lisa Frankenstein. So that's all. Goobers go.
Hi, Goobers515. I'm a streamer, and you can find me on Twitch. That's the majority of it. If you want to go to the after party for all my streams, join my fucking Discord. I'm currently in the midst of playing Liza P right now, dressing up like fucking Pinocchio every night.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not joking. It's right here.
Okay.
And if you guys want to go check that out, that's Liza P. Also, Monday nights is RNG. That's the new show that'll be happening tonight. Goobers515 everywhere. Please go subscribe to the Patreon because more people need to poop.
Everybody poops.
Everybody poop. Everybody needs to poop, and everybody should poop.
Everybody needs to poop, but not everybody gets to.
That's just
exactly.
That's just more Liza P right there. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the Viking show that turned out to be a Call of Cthulhu show.
Yeah.
Fun fact: a couple of my regular viewer community members, Discord members, were talking about how much they'd love to see a Viking show mixed with Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, really?
After I announced the show was Vikings.
Oh, really?
And there are a couple of people being like, man, I've always, just randomly chatting with each other. And I was just sitting there like, holy crap. Like, are they in my head? But yeah.
We're sharing the same brain cell. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Give me that.
So, we're going to head off for the night. We will be back next week to see who exactly Harold murders. Until then, be good, be happy, and don't pay any attention to moon dreams. They're not your
And remember,
friend.
use the bathroom. You guys in the audience, you can go whenever you want.
You have my permission.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Everybody poops.
That's another lie of P. Laters, everyone. Bye.
Like the video.